everyone, and welcome to Checkpoint. Yeah, I'm really excited to have you today at Checkpoint, and I want to start by saying thank you, and thank you again for all that you do for us here at Checkpoint. Thank you for liking our videos, thank you for sharing our videos, thank you for commenting on our videos, and thank you most importantly for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Now, because of all that you do, our message is able to reach a wider audience, and for this I am truly grateful. Thank you for all that you do for us, and you know how we roll at Checkpoint. Please go ahead, let everyone know that it is time for Checkpoint. Tell your friends, your relations, your associates, and your neighbors. Tell them they should come on and join us, because today we have a topic that is so inspiring, something you would like to know about, because you know that here at Checkpoint, we always equip, edify, and empower you with contents that help you to become a better version of yourself. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead, begin to invite your friends, your relations, your associates, and your neighbors. But no matter what you do, do not leave this link. Make sure you share the link and then come right back, and we will do this together. So I'll be right back after the break, and then I will share with you the topic that we have for today. Are you ready? All right, welcome back. So I'm really excited about today's topic, because many of us could have been going through any of this kind of experiences, and we might not even know what exactly it is. Now, today I'll be speaking on a topic: terrible manipulation tactics to avoid in relationships. Terrible manipulation tactics to avoid in relationships. Believe you me, manipulation is real. In fact, many people who are manipulated may not even know that they are being manipulated. You know, one of the key ways for you to know that you are being manipulated is that in any relationship where you always feel confused, like you feel confused about your position, you feel confused about your role, you feel confused about your place, it is possible that one kind of manipulation is going on there or the other. Now, another sign for you to know that you are being seriously manipulated is that you are afraid to lift up your voice. Like, you are afraid to say your mind, you are afraid to explain how you are feeling. You know, you're in a relationship and you can't talk to somebody. What I'm saying in this video transcends just romantic relationships. This has to do with relationships, even in families, even with family members, even with friends. This manipulation tactics can exist in any form of relationship known to human beings. So this is not just a relationship message, it is a message that would appeal to everybody, irrespective of where you find yourself. So manipulation is real. Many people get manipulated and they don't even know they are being manipulated. Let me tell you this: manipulation is a form of emotional abuse, and when this happens, the aim is to exploit you, the aim is to control you, the aim is to influence you in order for the manipulator's advantage. Let me say this again: when you are being manipulated, the aim is to exploit you, the aim is to control you, the aim is to influence you, in not just to your own advantage, but this time to the advantage of your manipulator. So one thing I like you to know about manipulation is that when somebody is manipulating you, this person is trying to control how you feel about something. They're trying to control what you think about something. They're trying to control how you behave towards someone or something. So it is very important that you understand when you are being manipulated. There are many manipulators walking around along the street, many manipulators even in our families, many manipulators are in our general places of business, in our schools, in our churches. Manipulators are everywhere human beings are found. So what I'm going to share with you today is something that will help you to notice, identify a manipulator and the manipulator's tactics, and do yourself a huge favor by avoiding this manipulator. So while manipulative behaviors can show up in every kind of everyday situation, it is important for you to know that any form of manipulating tactics is an abuse on your person. Because remember what I said about manipulation, that manipulation seeks to exploit you, to control you, to influence you, not for your own benefit, but for the benefit of the one who is manipulating you. So today we'll be talking about different tactics of manipulation that you should identify and avoid. Please, it doesn't matter who in your life is manifesting these manipulative tendencies. It is something that you have to free yourself from. Tell yourself you cannot be hoodwinked into living that kind of life. A manipulator, let me tell you something about a manipulator. A manipulator knows what you want. A manipulator knows what you need. A manipulator knows the things that matter to you. And see what the manipulator does. The manipulator goes about trying to use that thing that you want or that thing that you need to their own advantage. And this is something you cannot allow for it to continue happening in your life. So today I will share with you like 7 different manipulation tactics that you must identify and do yourself a huge favor by trying to avoid it. When you avoid it, you'll be free from its strength, you'll be free from its power. Whatever they are using to control you, it will stop right there. Now, one thing I like you to do for me is that let me know in the comment section, have you ever experienced a manipulator of any sort? Because you know, people that we are even familiar with can be very huge manipulators. So as we talk about and discuss this very sensitive topic, I'd like you to tell me, have you experienced any one of these 7 manipulators? And if you have, please let me know in the comment section. Don't shy away from that, because the evil thrives in secrecy. When you bring evil to light, it loses its power. And this is one thing I'm going to tell you. If there's anybody in your life currently that is manipulating you to do something you should not do, the best thing for you to do is to speak up. Speak up, because evil loses its power when brought to light. It thrives in secrecy. And this is why you have to do everything that you can to free yourself from this kind of manipulation tactics. Are you ready? All right, let's go. I'll be sharing you number 1 manipulation tactic is what I call emotional blackmail. I'm sure that you've heard about this time and time again. In fact, let me tell you the truth. I have a complete video on how to know when you are emotionally blackmailed. It's a complete video here on YouTube. Please do yourself a favor and get back and watch that video. It has really liberated a lot of people from being manipulated senselessly. All right, so emotional blackmail is the number 1 we're going to be looking at today. What then is emotional blackmail? It is one of the most insidious forms of manipulation. Now, when somebody is manipulating you emotionally, what this person does is that they usually use guilt, they use fear, they use obligation to control someone. Let me say this again. Emotional blackmail involves the use of guilt, involves the use of fear and obligation to control someone. So it's either the person is telling you, oh, you know what you did last time. If you don't do what I want you to do, I will expose you. I'll talk about something you have done in the past. And you, for fear, because you don't want your secret to be exposed, or you don't want your past to be seen or talked about, then you just do what the person wants you to do. Another one is fear. They know you are afraid of losing out in an exam. You're afraid of losing out in a relationship. You're afraid for what the repercussion and consequences of a particular action will be, and they would blackmail you into doing the wrong thing. There was a particular lady some time ago. I don't know what she did and how she did it. Eventually, a blackmailer got nude videos, and it was really, really terrible. She was shaking. She was scared. She was like, what is this? How am I going to bear this? What is going to happen to me? And I told her, see, the worst thing you can tell to a blackmailer is go ahead. And because when the person shares it, see, After a day and two and a week maximum, that story will lose its power. A story more powerful. The world, I know the internet does not forget, but the world will not dwell on your matter forever. Don't get yourself to the point where a blackmailer just decides to destroy your life, destroy your destiny because of a tangible information that they have about you. So back to what we're talking about in relationships. Now, this may not even be a stranger. This may be somebody you are very accustomed with, but please never allow anybody to use guilt, to use fear, to use the fear of what they can do to you, or to use your obligation. Maybe this is your job, this is your duty, you have to do it, and then they're making you do it even when you don't feel like, even when you cannot, even when you cannot bring yourself to. Please make sure that you avoid emotional blackmailers. An example of emotional blackmail is, if you love me, you will do this for me. And sometimes what they're asking you to do is the opposite of something that somebody who really loves somebody will want to do for the person. See, I've heard about even guys who are trying to get ladies, tell them stuff like, where were you? If I had met you earlier, I wouldn't have been married to my wife. This is emotional blackmail, right? And it's so deceptive because they are lying. If they had seen you when they saw their wife, they wouldn't even look in your direction. So please tell yourself the truth. The other one say, if I don't sleep with you, I will die. They're not dying. How have they been surviving till they met you? Oh, that guy is already 25 years. She's already 28 years. So how did they die without all this? Why? How did they survive all this? Why? Just tell them to go and die very, very fast. And you will be so surprised at how quickly they will decide to leave. So please never get yourself to the point where you are emotionally blackmailed. Somebody will say, oh, I can't believe you will hurt me this way. And you did not really hurt this person. Please, these kind of statements are statements that make you feel responsible for the happiness of another person. Let me say this again. This kind of statements make you feel like you are the one who is responsible for their happiness, or you're the one who is responsible for their welfare, or you're the one who is responsible for their being alive. And please, no human being can put you in that situation. You don't put yourself in that situation. You cannot be responsible for another person's happiness. You cannot be responsible for another person's being alive. So never get to the point where you allow somebody to put you in that tight spot. See, sometimes they'll make you feel like you are the reason for them going through distress, and then they'll begin to lead you by their demands so that you can avoid the fear of losing them in a relationship, or the fear of people hearing what you have done. Listen to me, just calm down. I assure you that when you identify an emotional blackmailer for who they are and call them out to it, you'll be so free from that shackle and from that experience. All right, it's time to move on. The second kind of manipulation tactics I like to talk about is the one called love bombing. I don't know if you've heard about it before. It's called love bombing. Now, love bombing is a manipulative tactic that is used to gain somebody's affection or trust by overwhelmingly giving them attention, compliments, praise, gifts, love. And when somebody gives this to you in excess, they are doing it so that you come to the point where you can no longer affirm yourself. You come to the point where you are no longer trusting yourself. But if this person does not say that you are nice, you won't feel like you are nice. If this person does not say you are looking good, you won't feel like you are looking good. Love bombing is a manipulation tactic. And sometimes people come into your life and they begin to shower you with gifts, they begin to shower you with love. Anything that you want, they just give it to you at that very instance. In fact, the moment you cough, everybody will have to catch cold. See, listen to me, when this happens, that is love bombing. This person is overwhelmingly throwing themselves at you just to make sure that you feel like without them, no other person can love you this much. And this is very, very important, because love bombing involves a person going over and beyond for you in an effort to just manipulate you into a relationship. There are times you are not even ready to enter a relationship, but somebody is out there, giving you all the gifts, providing all your needs, reaching out to you at every instance, asking you how was your morning, your afternoon, and your night. This is love bombing. And believe me when I tell you, I have had experience. I'm no longer a child. I'm in my early 40s. And when I tell you that this is a manipulation tactic, you have to believe me for what it is. Do not be a victim of a love bomber. A love bomber believes that because of the volume of attention they are giving you, because of the volume of love they are giving you, you owe them your life. You owe them their happiness. And please never ever fall for a love bomber. All right? A love bomber will quickly build intimacy and trust with you. They will come around you. They will want to make you feel like, oh, this is the only way to live. This is, you know that I trust you so much. That's why I've given you everything. I've given you my life. I've given you my money. I've given you, and all of these things are targeted to making you feel like they are all that matter to you. Let me tell you something else about a love bomber. A love bomber will easily identify somebody who has a need to be loved. I know that the world we live in is a difficult world, and people have different experiences. For some, their mothers are no longer around in their life. For some, their fathers are no longer around in their life. And when a love bomber notices that this person is leading some kind of lonely life, or this person does not have a father figure or a mother figure, what they would usually do is that they will come and place themselves in that situation, trying to make the person feel very wanted, trying to make the person feel very appreciated. But when they are doing it, they are just simply using it as a tool to increase the victim's devotion to them. So this victim is not completely devoted to them. This victim who is being love bombed as a manipulation tactic is now loyal to them simply because of the need to be loved, the need to be appreciated. I understand you, and I understand that every human being on earth needs to be loved. Every human being on earth needs to be appreciated. But please don't sell your soul for that. I'm serious when I tell you, don't sell your soul for that. I know that there is this strong need to be loved. There is this strong need to be appreciated. There is this strong need for you to have somebody in your corner. And that urge is strong. And possibly your parents are not giving you that. Your siblings are not giving you that. And that should not be a reason why you should become a victim to a love bomber. A love bomber will shower you with praise. A love bomber will shower you with adoration. But when they are done, they have one ultimate aim: to manipulate you, to influence you, to confuse you into accepting things that you should not even accept. Do you understand that? All right. Remember our deal. Just let me know in the comment section which of these manipulation tactics has been used on you before, or one you have experienced. It may not even be your personal experience. It could be that somebody in your family or a friend has experienced any of these manipulation tactics. If that has happened, please do let me know in the comment section. I would like to read your story, and then we'll encourage one another. Is that okay? All right, so let's continue on terrible manipulation tactics to avoid in relationships. That's still our topic. In case you're just joining now, I've said a lot of things already. Please do me a favor, go back to the beginning of the video and continue watching till we meet up to this point. Now let's talk about number 3. Number 3 manipulation tactic that you should avoid in relationship is the one that we call gaslighting. I'm sure you may have heard about gaslighting. A gaslighter would always make it look like you don't know what you are saying. All right, they are experts at twisting perception. They twist your reality for you. When you're with a gaslighter, you almost feel like you're mad because they make everything about you. They make it look like you're the one who doesn't know what you're doing. They make it look like you don't. When did this happen? Did I really do that to you? Are you sure you are okay? Are you having a fever? They make it look like you are the problem. Let me tell you, gaslighting is a psychological tactic, and it's a psychological manipulative tactic that makes you doubt your own perceptions. It makes you doubt your own reality. In fact, when you have an argument with a gaslighter, there is a large tendency that you would lose out on that argument, because a gaslighter will make it look like he or she did not do anything to you. You know, you might be talking about one experience that you had with this person, how he or she talked down on you, how he or she manipulated you, or made you feel like you don't matter, and they'll be like, what? You're the one I adore the most. You know, see what I've done for you, see what I've done for you. And they would have their evidence. They are always very good with arguments, because at the end of the day, they tend to win. And by the time they win, they leave you more confused. They make you question things that have happened. You begin to ask, did this happen or did it not happen? By the time you get to that point, you are already a victim of a gaslighter. A gaslighter, when they are using these tactics, they would even deny events that you clearly remember how it happened. They would even twist the facts and accuse you of being overly sensitive, or they will even accuse you of paranoia. They will make you look like you don't even know what you're saying. This did not happen. And when you are with a gaslighter, one thing that will happen is that your self-confidence will keep dying, because a gaslighter will make you feel like you are mad. A gaslighter will make you feel like you are even sick. In fact, I've met a particular gaslighter once. You know, she kept making her husband look like he was crazy. You know, in fact, it got to a point when she took the husband to a psychiatric hospital. You know, and the man came to the point where he even believed that because one of his brother like that had psychiatric issues, it's possible he had psychiatric issues, because she would deny. Oh, gaslighters can lie for Africa. Not Africa, but lie for the whole world, because the lying thing is not just an African thing, it's a human thing. You know, a gaslighter can lie. A gaslighter can twist your perception, will make it look like what that thing did not really happen. When they tell their own side of the story, one thing about gaslighters is that they are very good with talking. When they tell their own side of the story, they will tell it in a way that nobody else will believe that anything actually happened. In fact, events that you know, unless you have a video, unless you have a written document about something that has happened, if not, a gaslighter will make you feel like that thing never happened, like it was just in the realms of your imagination. They will treat you badly, and they would make you dependent on their own version of reality. Let me say this again. A gaslighter will make you dependent on their own version of reality, because they know they have control over you. So at the end of the day, you can't even account for events. You can't even account for what really happened, because you are involved with a gaslighter. So gaslighting is not something that you can endure, especially when you see it in a relationship. It is time for you to tell yourself, if this is going to be a long life, an experience of a lifetime, I don't want to have it. And this is how you free yourself from a gaslighter on time. Now, one thing about living with a gaslighter or being in a relationship with a gaslighter is that they will make you to lose your confidence. They will make you to come to the point where you're not even certain of who you are. In fact, I've seen people who have been involved with a gaslighter. One characteristic thing about them is that they hardly make decisions. They are always confused about what decision to make. You know, you ask them a question, they can't make up their mind on anything. You know why? Every time they make up their mind, the person they are with is telling them, why would you do something that stupid? Why would you even make a decision like that? No, this is terrible. I thought you knew more. I thought you are wiser than this. You know, they make you look stupid. They make you look foolish. And when you're with a gaslighter, you are continuously confused. You don't have self-esteem because you don't believe that you can do well. They make you believe in their own version of reality. And it won't be long, no matter your resistance, because you have dwelt with this person for a while, eventually you begin to believe what they say that you are. And that is the worst kind of place to find yourself in. You understand that? Alright, so let me know in the comment section. Have you ever met a gaslighter? Let me know. I'd like to read from you. Oh, let's talk about number 4, manipulative tactics that are so terrible that you have to avoid them. And this one is playing the victim. Playing the victim. Let me tell you, playing the victim is a manipulative tactic. And in this tactic, someone portrays themselves consistently as if they are helpless. They make themselves look like they 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 are the ones who have been wrong. And when they do this, they are doing it simply to gain sympathy from people and to control you. So they always make it look like, see what you just did to me, see how you just talked to me, see how you just, there's always an issue with them because they are always playing a victim. In fact, when you say good morning, they'll be like, is this the kind of good morning you say? Something must be wrong somewhere. Before, you used to tell me a certain kind of good morning, but now this good morning is looking different. See, they can whine, they can make complain from today till the end. In fact, believe me when I tell you, I might be using a very a female voice to describe it, but it is not female at all. Playing the victim can be a male trait, it can be a female trait. Have you met a male nagger? It's one of the very, very disgusting things that you will ever meet in life. When a man is nagging, they will never keep quiet. They're always complaining about what you did to them, about how you are treating them. In fact, they're not saying, and they know how to complain to people. So when you are married to somebody who has this manipulative tactics of always trying to play the victim, what will happen is that everybody in your street will hear their own version of what you did to them. They will tell everybody, they will tell your parents, they will tell your siblings, see what you did to me. See, and they can keep records. They can keep records professionally because they will remember that in 1984 at exactly 2:45 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon that had a lot of sun, that they can keep records because this is how they get their power over you. So every time you see somebody, they're trying to whip up sentiments, they're trying to get sympathy from other people. And this is one thing about those who play the victim. A person who plays the victim will most likely exaggerate the story. In fact, they can exaggerate or fabricate the story of what has happened as if you were not there. So they would fabricate the story of how you mistreated them, and they are doing this just to elicit pity. They are doing this to elicit support. They are doing this to elicit sympathy from others, and this can make you to feel compelled to protect and care for the person, even at the expense of your welfare. Do you know that sometimes you see yourself in a relationship, you are taking care of somebody at the expense of your needs, at the expense of your boundaries, at the expense of your belief? You know in your heart that this is your boundary. You know in your heart that you cannot even afford what this person is asking you, but they will make it look like, see what you've done to me. My life has been wasted. All this while I have just slaved for you. And when they are doing that some of them would even cry. Because they are playing the victim, part of the role, part of the skit that they are playing with your life is that they will cry about it. And as they are crying, you are seeing not crocodile tears, you are seeing real tears flowing from this person, and you are even confused. When did I do such a thing to this person? At what point did I treat them this way? At what point did I mistreat them? And in fact, they will exaggerate the story. If they don't say anything to exaggerate, they will fabricate fresh ones. And when they tell it with a lot of passion. When I'm saying this, it's possible that you may not have met plenty manipulators in your life, but I am sharing this video with you so that when you do meet them, you will know what to do. When you do meet them, you will know how to free yourself from such a thing. When you see that attitude once or twice, you will just know that I cannot deal with this in the long run. This is not the kind of life I want to live. And you just tell yourself, no, I cannot deal with this person. I don't want to do it, because they will make you start to care for them. They will make you to start to take care of them. They will even make you to spend your last savings. Even money you do not plan to spend, you will see yourself spending that money simply because you are trying to protect yourself from this particular person who is playing the victim. You never win a case with them. No matter what happens, they will twist it. At the end of the day, you are the one apologizing. Have you ever seen that person? You know this person, but they never say sorry. No matter what happens, no matter what you're doing with them, they will never come to the point where they say, I am sorry. Instead, they will give you 1,001 reasons why they are right. They will give you 1,001 reasons why they don't do anything to you. They will give you 1,001 reasons why they think that you are the one who should be apologizing to them because they are playing the victim. All right, this is what I would share with you on that point. Let's go to the next one. That will be number 5. Number 5, manipulative technique or tactics that people employ even in relationships is what we call the silent treatment. These ones, there's the ice cream they call stone cold ice cream. These ones, they have stone cold heart. The silent treatment is a manipulative tactics that people use when they and they practice it in this way. They refuse to communicate with you or even to acknowledge your presence. So you enter the house where they are in, they are busy doing what they are doing, and you come around them, they will not even talk to you, and they see this as a form of punishment. So they are keeping quiet on you just to make you know that you have wronged them, and sometimes you do everything in your power to try to communicate to this person, you try to explain to them, tell them I'm sorry. They'll keep quiet. And one thing I know that is usually symbolic of them is that when they not keep quiet, they will not be humming a song, and sometimes that song is targeted against you, and you know that this song has that song has a nature, that song is targeted against you, but they're just humming it and they're acting like they didn't notice your presence, but you know that they notice your presence. When they use these tactics, they create a sort of power imbalance and make you very desperate for attention and for their approval, so you become uncomfortable. In fact, when they are doing it to punish you, and in their mind they are bringing you to the point where you don't have any other person to talk to. You come to that point where you're not begging for their approval or you're begging for their attention. This will lead you to start apologizing or even conceding to the demands of the person, especially even if you're not the one at fault. You will just be like, I am uncomfortable with this situation, I am uncomfortable with this silence, and I want us to restore communication. So you see yourself apologizing, begging, saying sorry when you are not the one at fault, trying to restore the communication. This person knows that you love to communicate, all right, and they would use the silent treatment as their way of making sure that they punish you. So they will keep quiet, you talk to the person is not answering you and stuff like that. There are people who are a master at doing this, and if you have somebody in your life who always does this, please advise the person on how to behave better. See, there are many issues that we can resolve if we can communicate. There are many things that we can resolve if only we can say what we feel and how we feel. I know that different people's ability to process their emotions are quite varied. For people who have a grip on their emotions is different. For others who don't have a grip on their emotions is also different. But what I can tell you is that whether you are the one who is practicing the silent treatment or you're the one who receives the silent treatment, encourage communication. Maybe not at that moment when the silent treatment is going on, but when their communication has been restored, let this person know that I really don't like this method of communication. If something goes wrong, please, can you just open your mouth and let me know what it is? And most times they will say, oh, whenever I tell you, you will not acknowledge that something is wrong. See, find ways that find better ways that will help you to communicate to each other that this thing is not okay, instead of engaging in this silent treatment, all right? And then singing all those funny songs that you know that you are actually pointing at them. One person said, I serve a very big God, though even the devil knows, say not true. And the person was pointing at the person he or she has not been talking to. That shouldn't be the case. So please be careful about how you handle relationships. I like to drop just a side word on this. Life is really too short for us to have enemies, for us to keep quarreling with each other. I know people will offend you, but when people offend you, just let go from your heart. Try to talk with them. Sometimes it may not even make sense to them. Sometimes you might even regret calling the person's attention to it, because that person might even be like, I'm not the one at fault, I don't want to say anything, I'm not sorry about what has happened, and then you get infuriated the more. But I always tell people the reason why you have to forgive people is because you are the one who gets healed when you forgive. If you put somebody in your heart and you are feeling bitter and angry about what the person has done, it is like you drinking poison and you're expecting the person who offended you to die. Don't drink that poison, Don't put it in your mouth. Just let go. Understand that sometimes people will just function based on the level of understanding that they have. People will offend you. It is a fact in life that people will offend you. Sometimes, even family members, they will not do what you want them to do. And I want you to know that sometimes these people in your family, they are giving you the best way they know how to love. They don't know any better, and because of that, they're not doing any better. So instead of expecting them to love you the same way this other person loved you, just let go and give yourself some peace. All right, give yourself some calmness. Instead of counting and recounting what they have done to you, let go and allow peace to reign. For the sake of your sanity. Somebody said, why will I forgive somebody who is not even sorry about what they have done? And I said, no, listen to me. Forgive them even when they are not sorry about what they have done. Because when you forgive, you are the first beneficiary of that forgiveness. You are the first person who benefits from forgiveness. Because when you forgive them, your heart is free. Your heart is free. You feel better. The journey is short, people. Let's learn to forgive. A time will come, a day will come when all of these things will not matter. It will not even make sense. I know they hurt you real bad. I know it was a father that hurt you. I know it was a mother that hurt you. I know it was a sibling that hurt you. I know it was somebody you love that hurt you. But see, heal yourself. And if you love yourself well enough, you will let go for the sake of your sanity. Is that okay? All right, so let's continue. The next one will be number 6. Okay, number 6. Manipulative tactics that you have to avoid. All right, identify them and avoid it. Now, the next one is triangulation. Now, triangulation is a manipulative tactics, and in triangulation, what happens is that usually even the person at fault will go and bring somebody else into the relationship. Somebody they know that will always side them. Somebody they know that will always be on their side. So this person knows that they have wronged you. And in the midst of the heated argument, say, oh, let's call this person. Let's call this person. Maybe the person's name is Richard. Let's just call Richard. And you know that every time you call Richard, Richard will always side you. Richard will always be, and they will keep doing this. And in fact, they say, oh, you don't want Richard? Okay, let me call Sandra. They know that these people are their people. And sometimes they are just doing this just to make sure that there is somebody else that is in their own party. And some other times, you know that people who are in a romantic relationship this time, they can even decide to go and bring somebody who is not part of the relationship. So somebody said, I wanted to know if my husband really, really loves me. And you know the stupid idea that came to her mind? Triangulation. What a manipulative tactic. Now, she went and got somebody from her workplace, a guy in her workplace, and she started flirting with the guy, and she was now creating jealousy in the heart of her husband. So the husband would be like, what happened to us? What happened to us? Our relationship was not like this. And she'd be like, oh, don't worry. He's caring for me. He's liking me more. He's taking care. And she was like, and the husband was like, this is not how our marriage story ends. Leave this guy. Come back to our family. Let's sort this out based on our relationship. He said no, that this guy is telling her the kind of things she wants to hear. He's treating her nicer than he's treating her. But you know the funny part? She was really not serious about it. She just brought in this guy to increase the jealousy in her husband, to increase the competitiveness between her husband and this other guy. And at the end of the day, obviously, you can tell the end of the story. It did not work out because the insecurity of the husband drove him to lengths to do things he shouldn't have done in the first place. Triangulation is terrible. Whether it is a man that is triangulating or a woman that is triangulating, it is never okay. What they do when they triangulate is that they try to put you in the middle and put you in a place where you have to be compared unfavorably with another person. So they compare you unfavorably with the other person, say this other person is taking care of them, saying this person is nicer to them, saying this person is even more handsome or more beautiful than you. What they are trying to do is they want to drive you to a great length to do whatever they want you to do. So you see a man in this condition going to great lengths just to get her approval. You see a woman in this condition going through great lengths to get his approval. And at the end of the day, they are overstretched. They come to that point where they cannot take it anymore. They come to that point where they say, oh, I am done. If this is it, I am tired. I can't deal with this anymore. At such time, before they will realize that this was supposed to be an ugly game for them, they have really lost the real relationship that they actually have. Triangulation is a thing, people, and sometimes people may even do it without even knowing the tag name for it. But I assure you that triangulation is a manipulation tactic. It's not something that you want to do to somebody you love. It's not something you want to engage in. Don't bring in another person into the mix and then begin to smile at the person, you know. You begin to post the person, celebrate the person on their birthdays and say, oh, this one is a real man. Meanwhile, you have a real man at home and you're not doing anything about it. You now post the picture of other fine ladies, you know, on your status, and you know that you have a wife who also has pictures, but you're not posting it there. And you just they're doing it so that they can become competitive and begin to do nicer things for you and begin to win your approval. They will try for a while, but eventually you may have lost a good man or you may have lost a good woman because of that stupid manipulation that you are doing. So triangulation is not something that you really want to do. All right, so the last one I like to share today is the opposite of love bombing. All right, is the number 7, the opposite of love bombing. In this one, instead of bombing you with love, this one is withholding affection. So withholding affection is another manipulation tactic, and in this one, the person who is doing this deliberately denies you love, deliberately denies you attention, even physical intimacy, even financial benefits. If they are, maybe they are the ones who have more money for the family than you, they deny you all of these things because they just want to punish you. Now they make you suffer for it. They see it as a way of making you suffer because of something they perceive you have done to them. Withholding affection is not good. You know, like I said before, life is not too long. You know, the oldest will be 120, and 120 cannot be compared to eternity. So when I say life is too short, I'm not saying that it is a short life per se, but when compared to eternity, it is actually a very short time. So it is too short for you to go ahead and be withholding affection from people who truly love you. Let me tell you this truth: you may never know when you will see somebody for the last time. So be nice. Let that not be the last thing you do to that person before this person leaves the earth. There are people who said, oh, I'll not talk to him today, tomorrow I'll talk to him, and there was no tomorrow for that person. So be nice to people. You know, when they do this thing, they are withdrawing affection, because when they do that, they create a sense of emotional deprivation that will make the person to begin to look for the person to go through great lengths, desiring their closeness or desiring their approval, and at the end of the day, they will even end up submitting to demands that are ridiculous. All right, they will submit to demands that they don't want, things they don't want to do, in order to gain back the affection of the person who is manipulating them. So she believes that if she tells him, if she withholds affection from him, that he will go ahead and begin to look for ways to please her. And he believes that if he withholds affection, that she will begin to look for ways to meet the demands that he has made towards her. And these kind of things are all manipulative. You know, if somebody offends you, just tell them what they did. Don't withdraw affection from them. Don't tell them you don't love them anymore. Don't withdraw intimacy. Don't don't deliberately deny them of something they truly need, you know, affirmation, appreciation, you know. And when you withdraw these things, you're making the person feel sad. You're making this person feel incompetent, and that is by no way nice. So these are very terrible. There are so many others, right? But these are very terrible manipulation tactics that you should identify and avoid, whether in a romantic relationship or in a relationship with your family. There are people who are in families where nobody appreciates them for what they do, no matter how much they do it. The affection is constantly withdrawn, and these things are not good. And my general advice is this: truth be told, you cannot change your family members, okay? You cannot change anybody, in short. You cannot change him, even if you're married to him. You cannot change her, even if you're married to her. The truth of the matter is that they still have a responsibility to make the right decision. And then what happens if they choose not to make the right decision? You will have to do what is best for you. You will have to do what is best for your life. You will have to do what is best for your future. And what I would advise is this: if somebody does not love you, if somebody denies you of affection or withholds it or tries to manipulate you, you love yourself. Because one thing the love bombard knows is that you don't love yourself enough. The one thing the person who is withdrawing affection knows is that you don't love yourself enough. If you love yourself enough, whether they withhold the affection or whether they overgive it to you in an overwhelming manner, it will not matter to you, because you, within yourself, you know that you love yourself. So you'll be comfortable with who you are. You won't find yourself making rash decisions simply because somebody either gave you too much love or withdrew too much love from you. So all of these manipulation techniques will really not work on you if you truly love yourself. Secondly, know your boundaries. And no matter who is involved, make sure that you don't overstep your boundaries. You are a good person. So don't come to the point where you begin to behave like a rascal simply because of what somebody else is doing. If they are doing triangulation with you, just calm down, understand that you are who you are. And when the person is tired, they'll come back to their senses. If there is emotional blackmail involved, take your stand. Tell the person this and this and that are the things I believe. And in as much as you want to twist the reality or make it look like I did something that I did not do, or maybe you exaggerated the situation or you fabricated a new one, this is what happens. And I am okay and content if you don't understand me, because at the end of the day, I understand myself, I love myself enough, and I want to do what is right. Please don't get to the point where somebody begins to control you like they control their TV remotes. That is not what you want, and that is not who you are. So these are the few things I decided to share with you today on Checkpoint. I hope it was insightful. I hope it will help you to navigate the relationships that you have found yourself in, or that you will find yourself in. Please do remember to drop some comments for me. Let me know which manipulation tactics touched you the most. Let me know which one you have experienced, or whether with yourself or somebody around you. Let me know what your story is, and we will learn together from it. All right, so these are all I tried to share with you today on Checkpoint. I appreciate you for joining, and if you came late, you did not join on time, please go back to the beginning of the video and watch from the beginning till the end, so that you catch up on all I was able to share with you today. Until I come your way again, keep making a positive, indelible mark in the lives of people and on the sands of time. I love you so very much. Bye-bye for now. Mwah. Everyone, I hope you are blessed by that message. All right, so I want you to just go ahead and support us. If you are led, go ahead and just sow into the account right on the screen. And I know that as you do that, God will bless you big time. Because of the seeds you are sowing, you'll be able to reach a wider audience on different platforms. So please do well to sow that seed, and God will bless you. Love you.